Welcome to FaBled Hunters.
I'm Ada.
I'm Saint.
And we're gonna open some stuff.
Actually, Ada.
What?
Are you ready?
For what?
For the most cold foil slabs ever.
So Saint, what's this pile of plastic behind us?
That's a good question, Ada. We don't consider it just to be plastic. Not any old plastic. These are slabs.
Oh.
These are slabs.
Interesting.
From a grading service called Beckett Grading Services,
Oh, I see
aka
over here.
BGS. And it's basically a rating company.
I see.
You know how, like, on Wall Street, there's like
Yeah.
S&P, there's Fitch, there's
Yes.
Moody's.
Yes.
This is basically like the Moody's of collectible cards, where they rate a card and they tell you all the aspects, whether it's, you know, the corners are strong, the centering is strong, or weak, or maybe it's got a bad surface. It basically, these guys are the foremost authority
Wow.
in collectible card games, and they tell you what grade your card is rated at.
So what are the different grades that they have? Like, what's the best?
It's
That's-
out of 10.
Okay.
There are a couple different 10s. We won't get into that. Basically, your normal card that you get from a pack is probably somewhere between an 8.5 and a 9.
Okay.
It's near mint. 8.5-ish is about near mint. 9 is mint.
Ah.
But if you find an exceptionally nice, beautiful card with clean aesthetic, with great attributes to it, then it becomes gem mint. And that's 9.5. And even gem mints are not all created equal. Like, some gem mints are just 9.5 basic, the most basic 9.5s. Then some 9.5s are 10 subgrades, the sub attributes. And then that's called a 9.5 basic plus. Some 9.5s are completely consistent, where every grade is 9.5 or above, and that's called a quad. And then if you get at least 3 out of 4 10s and one 9.5, you get to pristine, which is a perfect 10.
I got it, because you got those 4 things over here that are listed at.
Absolutely, yep.
Centering, corners, edges, and surface.
That's correct.
Well, it sounds like you really trust this Beckett
Grading services.
grading
Yep.
services. Are there any other grading services out there?
There are a couple of grading services nationwide as well as worldwide.
Okay.
But for the game Flesh+blood, I would say probably 90% of the slabs, 90% of the high quality cards are submitted through BGS, Beckett Grading Services.
So tell me more, Sing. How did you get so many? And like, just tell me more. Like,
Yeah.
I'm so confused. Like, how did you get so many of these?
Well, these actually, most of them are not my personal slabs.
Okay.
What had happened was about a month ago, BGS, they announced a price increase, and they said, hey, you've got to get all your slabs in. I got it from an insider source. All your slabs in. And then immediately this news was spread across the community, because it's already not cheap to grade Beckett slabs. The low end used to be $15 if you submitted in bulk, and then the high end was $125.
Wow.
Nowadays, after the price increase, the low end is now $35.
That's 2x.
It's more than 2x.
Wow.
And then the high end is $250.
Oof.
So that's for one card.
Crazy.
So before the deadline, I had an insider source from Beckett give me an email. I shared it with the community and my community members on Facebook, and immediately over 1,000 people, they went crazy, and literally dozens of people, private collectors, friends, members of the community, individuals that I collaborated with, they sent me cards to help them review, clean, organize, curate, and send for grading. And almost all of these are other people's cards. I submitted many hundreds, even close to 1,000 of my own cards, but combined with everybody's cards, it's almost 5,000 cards just for this 1 month period, because the whole community wanted to get these cards handled to meet the pricing window.
One last question.
Sure.
So I know that you've gone on some crazy adventures. Like you've been invited by people who have a large collections of these cards. So have you traveled anywhere for like, you know, to look at other people's collections?
Absolutely. I've just in the past quarter, I've traveled to LA. I've traveled to the Midwest. I've traveled to Texas. I've traveled to the Northwest, and you know, there are prominent collectors nationwide that ask me for my advice, expertise, and those individuals, if they have impressive enough collections, I just fly out to meet with them.
Wow.
And if they don't, and if they're just, you know, more garden variety collectors, you know, home collectors and enthusiasts, then if they're part of any of the graded groups that I'm a part of, I just welcome their texts. They send me their texts, they send me the pictures of the cards, or they send it within the groups, and I'm usually pretty responsive when I have the opportunity.
Well, that's all I have for you today, Saint.
Okay.
Let's look at some of the cards.
Let's get into the slabs.
Yay.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
And we're back. Okay, let's see. We've got our Compete Sport playmat because we thank George for his partnership. George is going to get us and some other people in the community some Monarch first edition cards and boxes and cases.
Nice.
Hopefully.
They were sold out in like minutes.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Crazy.
It's really rough and tough to get them.
Yeah.
And we're waiting on you, George. That's why we're helping you grade cards. Just kidding, we do it anyway. So, first off, let's go through some items in the community. I believe this first batch, let me take a peek. Oh, these are the slabs, the premium slabs from Chris Sayers from Flesh and Blood and Seals, a friend of the community, a friend of the FaBled Hunters. Okay, like I said, this card only had a centering issue. It was really nice. Unfortunately, it had a 9 centering. Otherwise, if not for the 9 centering, it would have been a quad plus, but came back 9.5 gold
That's
slab.
still really good.
Yeah, still pretty good. The corners of Flesh and Blood cards are tough because of the foiling. There's just issues with the corners. Speaking of the corners, 8.5 corners. Shiyana, Diamond Gemini. This card is really, really in demand. You see that cold foiling? Look at
Beautiful.
that. Yeah, silver
really
foil.
Nice.
Yep. Really beautiful card. Very, very scarce. Oh, here's an Arknight Shard.
Oh,
this is a FaBled. Yeah, we saw that in another episode, right?
Yeah.
Arknight Shard, and this is Arknight Shard in gold.
Yeah. Would you say this one has a higher grade than the one we opened?
The one we opened, I don't know what the grade's gonna be on the one we opened. I believe there might be a chance for some 10s. I definitely believe it's gonna hit 9.5.
Okay.
That is Chris Savas from Australia, his shard. There's another shard, see? Another one in 9.5. Gold, gem mint. Gold is better than silver, right?
Yeah.
So it's got a premium. This is from George, owner of Compete Sport.
Oh, wow.
George's slabs. It was a Friday grading. They were probably backed up, or it was Thursday afternoon right after the snowstorm. They had so much volume. They're really backed up, so it was a really, really tough grading session. This Shiyana, 8.5 centering, got it to a 9 basic. Look at that, surface 10, edges 9.5. Still a mint card, but I just wish it would have gotten a better grade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, before you move on,
Yeah.
Can you, like, let's say if you don't agree with the rating, is there any way that you could, like, appeal? Like,
Well, you could ask them to review a graded card. It's called a GCR, graded card review. Or you could just crack the card and resubmit it.
Oh, okay.
So a slab resubmission.
I see.
Yep, we'll do that in in another video in the future.
Cool.
Yeah, good question. So this again, 8.5 corners on Shiyana. She did not make it to gold. Shard, we saw this in gold, but this is not a gold copy. Grasp of the Arknight, again with the corners, 9 basic.
We haven't seen a 10.
No, we have not seen a 10. 10s are very, very, very rare. This one, there you go. Here's a Skullcap that made it. 9.5 and a 10, right? Getting it to Gem Mint. That's a gold label. It's good. We've got, again, corners with the tech plating. We have a bracers, 10 centering, see? Same thing, tunic. Another tunic, same issue, yeah, same problem. And here, there's a 9 centering, but the edges just weren't good enough. The heart of Fyendal. We still have not got this FaBled card yet. Speaking of not getting FaBled cards, we haven't gotten this one either. This is from Herman.
Ooh.
Herman in New York. Yeah, 10 surface. But again, 9 corners. Beautiful card. This is a FaBled. You see the F down there?
That's one of the
Eye of Ophidia. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. We want to close out this segment with some picks from FaBled Hunters. We pulled these right on our show. Yeah, first one, Crown of Dichotomy. I thought this would make it because it was really close. There's a little bit of white over here, but we pulled this. This was our first legendary. We literally goose-egged our first case. It was now that case is worth $18,000 to $20,000 of Welcome to Raid. Same thing, we're susceptible to corners as well. Corners 8.5, twinning blade. You see that? It's kind of like a queen or like a face card, right?
The layout's
two-sided.
Really
she's like a queen. Yeah. Here we got the Gambler's Gloves. Oh, let me take this out. There you go. This is the first card we saw 10 corners on. See, 10 corners?
Yeah.
Again, this is a quad plus. Yeah, really, really tough. And the corners are indeed perfect. There's literally nothing on any corners. Nothing on any corners.
Amazing.
Quad plus, and we pulled this on the show. And we've got the tech art. This was from the Arcane case that we just recently finished. And then this last card on our FaBled Hunter show, I mentioned it, cross wrap. Yep, the corners 8.5.
Yes.
Yeah, so there's one last part. I did have a really major project. Let us reset and get to the last segment. Okay, so Ada, remember earlier you asked me about if I had any recent grading adventures, right?
Yeah.
So I want to go through this. I actually did go on my largest ever grading adventure.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. A couple weeks ago, I went to the Midwest and I went and engaged a private collector, AAA, and I went to his place of business for 2 weeks. And 2 days.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, we went and reviewed over 500 high-end cold foils from Flesh+blood. Now, there's a lot of people in the community right now trying to flex and trying to say, oh, who's the biggest whale? Who's the biggest whale? I'll be the first to say I am not the biggest whale. There's always somebody bigger. There's always somebody who's a bigger badass. And you know what?
Yeah.
Good for them. Good for them. Because I'm not in that competition.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to do my thing. I'm trying to farm a FaBled when I get it. And we're still unsuccessful on that. But yes, this collector, he goes by the name AAA. He invited me out. I was at his place of business for 2 whole days. Flew out just for this project. And I was lucky enough to review over 500 cold foils.
Whoa.
Just of his.
That's amazing.
Yep.
How did he find you?
He just contacted me through the Facebook group and he was very private about it. And these are not even all of his cold foils. These are just some of the batch that was 5 of 5, 5 of a batch of 5 submissions. And these were the premium and the express submissions. So these were his best of the best. And you'll see there's a lot of 9s, just a couple, like 9.5, just a couple, because while he was acquiring, he acquired for almost a whole year.
Oh, wow.
And he bought from people that played the game. He bought from people that had binder collections. He bought from people that had some of these cards raw. And not all of these cards were even mint to begin with. So yeah, just the discovery process and the review process was 2 days in person. And I brought back, I was trusted by AAA to bring back
his collection.
Yeah, his collection, the top of his collection. Some I eliminated. Oh my God, that is gorgeous. Some I eliminated immediately and they didn't even make it back on the flight with me.
Oh, wow.
And but most I said, you know what, I can work with this. And even after I came back, there were probably 400 to 450 of the top end cold foils that he had. I reviewed, I brought back with me to New York, back to FaBled Hunters HQ, and I actually spent another 4 days basically going through, reviewing each one, removing any possible, ooh, look at that. That's a 9.5 gold Shiyana Gemini. Yeah, another one. Wow, this is a good batch. And yeah, I reviewed, I cleaned any debris.
Wow.
I brushed off any potential additional little print blemishes and whatnot. And I even cleaned edges, corners, surface of some of these cards. Obviously, centering you can do nothing about. And I went through and spent about 4 entire days just cleaning, reviewing everything. And that wasn't even the submission process. Just that process alone took beginning to end. Iovophidia 9 quad plus took about 1 calendar week, maybe 8 total calendar days, from the travel to the cleaning and review, as well as the curation of the order and the submission. Ooh, gold Katsu.
Wow.
Ooh, gold
And
Dorinthia.
AAA trusted you throughout the entire
Yes,
process.
he did, of course,
That's
because
amazing.
out there in groups, I guess prominent enough that people know I know what to do with cardboard, right?
Yeah.
And I do everything I can. I do everything I can to help them attain the highest grade possible. These grades came out a little better. This is a 9 basic heart. This is another 9 basic heart. The hearts were in batch 3. These all went premium. Batch 2, just going through it. Yep, the twinning. The Shiyanas, because I picked out the better graded ones as the batch went up. Much more gold. This one is really tough. Command and Conquer. I think my buddy James Badger said we probably will never see a gold Command and Conquer just because of the print quality. Just a little thing for the collectors of the community. Grasp, quad plus, and there you go. There's a gold grasp. And yeah, basically I reviewed all the cards. I spent about 8 calendar days, including submission. And yes, this gentleman, actually, after I flew back, I was like, hey buddy, this is gonna be a heck of a lot of work. I don't know if I've got, 5-6 more days or a whole calendar week to dedicate just for this. It's one thing doing a favor, it's one thing reviewing your collection, it's another thing basically taking off work and dedicating a whole week to do this, to help him out. Oh man, that is a 9.5 Heart of Fyendal. You got a tunic here, another tunic.
What ended up? But you still helped him.
Yeah, of course. So we ended up basically after I flew back from the Midwest on day 3, Heart 9 quad plus. I basically said, hey buddy, this is way too much work for any normal human being to handle, and as I said earlier, we're in crunch time because we were trying to make the pricing deadline. Exactly. So it's like, hey man, what incentives would not what you give me, like what's in it for me? At a certain point, it's like, hey, there's over 100 hours of work, and the gentleman actually is like, hey, I respect that you've got an opportunity cost your time. I respect what you do for the community and your craft, and you're putting in a lot of investment here to help me out. Tell you what, Saint, whatever you get that is a quad or better, I'll split it with you. I'll share it with you at 50%, whatever the market cost of near mint is, and that will give you the incentive to get the best possible grades. And again, like I said, these are really, really rare. Ira, Crimson Haze, that's your hero, right?
Yeah.
But in cold foil.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's not the starter one, it's a cold foil, very limited one. And yeah, this is batch 105, our top batch. Reinar, we've got Bravo and plus, another Bravo. Just a couple nice, beautiful gold heroes, because this is the cream of the crop here, cream of the crop. So yeah, he basically said, hey, Saint, if you land these grades, we're gonna have to take care of each other. And yeah, you'll be 50-50 partners with me on the quads or better. So naturally, these grades are pretty solid. Naturally, as we went through these batches, our ratio for golds got better and better. because I definitely did score some quads. This one is a Skullbone cross wrap, so that is very much appreciated. I'm now the proud half owner of a Quad Plus Skullbone cross wrap. There was the Scab Skin Leathers in Quad Scab Skin Leathers. Proud partial owner of that. Fyendal's Spring Tunic. You saw the playmat, right?
Yeah.
This one is gorgeous in Quad. Glad for the opportunity. We even have a hero in Quad. Bravo. Showstopper. The Guardian in 9.5 Quad. It's all consistent. It's beautiful all over the place. All right, we've got a couple more. Another Skullbone cross wrap in Quad Plus. Another Bravo. Yeah, in Quad. Isn't it beautiful, the difference between a cold foil and just a regular card? It's like night and day, right? Love to be playing with that. Just in the middle of the mat, holding things down. Mask of Momentum, the Ninja Legendary in Quad Plus, 10 surface. Oh, we're not done yet. And then from batch 1, we had the Tectonic Plating, the Guardian Legendary in Quad. We had another Fyendal Spring Tunic, even better than the first one, in Quad Plus with 10 edges, the Tunic. And last but definitely not least,
what do we got?
Right here. There were 3 in the world. There are 3 in the world, I believe, as of the filming of this video, that are in Quad, the Heart of Fyendal. I saw one of them, and that one's unfortunately improperly graded, overly graded, generously graded, and this is a deserving Quad Heart of Fyendal. So yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity. It was a good, in my opinion, it was a worthy 8 days of my life, well spent to help grade what I think is the largest cold foil collection at least I have ever seen. And again, there are whales out there, there are whales on top of whales on top of whales. I'm just a guy trying to grade the best cards out there when they come into my possession. And you know what? There was another, I guess, spoiler out there because I didn't show all of the slabs. There were 2 that were just a step above the rest. And you asked me, Ada, if we had scored any 10s. And you know what? This Katsu Cold Foil 10 Ninja, 10 centering, 9.5 corners, 10 edges, and 10 surface. This is a 10 pristine, a Beckett 10 that came out. So we did have a Katsu. Yep. This is probably the best out there. There's only one thing better, which is if you get 4 10s with 10 corners, but you saw like 200 slabs today. You only saw 1 card with 10 corners. I think the Gambler's Gloves. That's it. 1 out of 200 of the best selection of the cards. And of course, we've got Dorinthia Iron Song.
Your fave.
My Dorintha Bay in 10. She will be in the center of a playmat. Thanks once again, AAA, for the opportunity. Thank you, Beckett. These will stay here as long as possible to help us guard our FaBled. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Remember to comment, like, and subscribe. Bye!